Alright, good morning. It's morning of day 3, and I got a lot of concentrates bagged up from the 2 excavations. I got the excavations vacuumed out last night, and I got that all concentrated down with the dry washer into about half of a quart Ziploc. So I'll go through that at the house, and right now I've got the camp all packed up and I'm ready to head out. I'm going to head over to that sample that I showed you on the video. I'm going to run the dry washer there and bring those concentrates home to test those and see if there's any color in that spot. And then I have one other spot on the way out I'm going to hit up, and in between there I'm going to do some detecting on this old miner's camp I found last night when I was walking around. It's the most obvious old camp that I've come across. So I'm going to do some metal detecting there for non-ferrous metals, and then I'm going to head on out. So thanks a lot, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, I'm scouting around a little bit, looking for another area to sample. Maybe this evening, but most likely it's going to be tomorrow. I'm planning right now on doing 2 areas tomorrow, and then heading on out of here. But this is real interesting. This is just just walking around out here in the middle of nowhere, and I came across quite a concentration of ironstones in this tiny gully. And they're really close to the surface, which usually indicates that the bedrock is very shallow. And you know, it's just a minor depression right in through here. And then the ironstones continue, small and large. So this is a real interesting area. A lot of ironstone on sort of a gray decomposing granite. And you know, what's hard to imagine is that it's a little bit of a hill coming down this direction, and it sort of settles right. This is the little low spot right here. So, you know, if you imagine 100 million years of erosion, that's the low spot right there. So what I probably come over here and do is set up my machine and scoop out all that earth there, maybe for about you know, I don't know, 8 feet, 12 feet. Take out 4 inches or so, and run all that through the dry washer and just take a sample. You can see petering on down here, there's some more ironstones just laying right with the... Very interesting. So yeah, I'm going to do a sample here, and I'll bag it all up, and I'll bring all those concentrates home. I'll mark the area with my GPS. All right, that's all for now. Take care out there. A lot of ironstone on this hillside to the right and running up this gully. So I thought it would be worthwhile to get a nice sample here today and bring that back and bring the concentrates back so I can pan it out at home, and then I'll know next time I come out if I want to come back here or not. So I've got the dry washer set up and the tools and everything ready. I wanted to point something out with the dry washer. most modern day dry washers, this is called the hopper, and inside the hopper there's a grizzly. It's a grate. And that grate has 3/8 inch holes thereabouts. So you can work the material along that grate to bust it up, to essentially clean the rocks. It's essentially a dry wash plant. And your shovel or your hand with a glove or whatever is the way that you clean the material. So you get the material on there, and then you rub it, you grind it, you clean it, so you abrade all the fine stuff off of the stones. The larger stones go over the end and they fall into your header pile, and then the finer material goes down and it runs through the dry washer, and the heavier elements get caught behind these reverse riffles. And there's air blowing through the bottom through that fine material, which blows out the lighter dust and the lighter materials and the lighter elements. And so the lighter elements get blown off, and also they get run off through the vibration, and you create your tailing pile over here. So most of these modern day machines have some adjustability here with the hopper and also the riffle tray. And so there's a lot of adjustments and a lot of different adjustability. In this case here, I've got the hopper set on a medium slope. So that'll give my material up here more time to sit, and I can grind it more. Basically, because this is the first time I've dug in this spot, I don't know what we may or may not find. So I'm going to set the camera down here and we'll get started and see how we do. What I'll do is I'll gather up the concentrates, try to get a really good thorough sample first, gather up those concentrates and bring them home to test out at home, instead of taking the time to break out all the panning kit and the water and all that while I'm out here. So I'm going to set the camera down and we'll get started. Alright, I'm going to cut it off there, but you can see the more that I shovel, the more material that I run through that dry washer, the more the heavier elements replace the lighter elements that are captured in the tray. So there's an exchange, and the heavier elements will kick out all the lighter elements. I'm going to keep working here. I want to dig down to see if I can find some sort of a hard pack or bedrock down here. So far it's deeper than I thought already, but I'm feeling some harder stuff down on the bottom there. So I want to get down to the hard pack or the bedrock and then start working my way up towards the buckets, or working my way down here towards the camera. But I got to cut the filming off now because of the heat. The camera's going to shut off. Thanks for watching. right. All right, pretty decent sample. Many times out here in these desert areas, I found it seems like the gold is near the surface, more so than down deeper. And there's a certain type of residual placer, I think it's called aeolian placer, and that means that primarily the wind has caused all the lighter materials on the surface of the earth to blow away over millions of years, leaving the heavier elements closer to the surface, or actually like a layer in the surface. So up here, not only did we go down through all the surface layers here, it appears there's about 3 layers of surface material. There's a granular, coarse sand sort of surface pavement. Down below that, there's a layer of, right in here you can see it, there's a layer of real fine, chalky dust. Not really sure what that is. It's real fine stuff. And then down below that, you start getting onto that decomposing granite layer. That's the floor. The floor of the hole is decomposing granite. And so I've gone down through all the layers, and I've also cut out here, the surface here, and the surface going up in here, and some surface right around here where there was a lot of ironstones. So all that has now been run through the dry washer, and I'll do a clean out, I'll bag it up, and I'll take it with me. I've already got it labeled and everything, so I'll take that with me, and that'll be a real good sample for this location to see if there's gold, what's the size of the gold, what's the consistency, you know, the particle size. I'll be able to know, is there gold in this spot? If there is, there's a whole rest of the gully here up, and there's oh, I don't know, another 40 feet of the gully behind us. And then not only that, but on the other side of the hill, there are other gullies that all have the same characteristics, the same ironstone along with this decomposing gray granite. So that's all for now. This is the sample. This is my morning sample here of the area on my way out. Now after this, I'm going to head over to another area. Probably not going to be filming that. I'm just going to be running material, gathering concentrates, and then I've got one more stop on my way out. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care out there. Hey, all right, it's the end of day 3 here, and I'm headed on out. I just wanted to stop at one more place and swing the detector a while, just to give it a shot. So I've driven past this place many times, and I've often thought that it looks like one of those landmarks that the old timers might have used if they were going to bury some treasure, so they could come back and get it. So who the heck knows? But I want to kill some more time before I drive back through the traffic. So I'll have the camera on me, and if I find some targets, I'll turn the camera back on. All right, thanks very much. All right, here's the first signal. I think I see it. Gotta move this camera, sorry about that. There it is. Oop. It's a nice big slug. The copper jacket, nice piece of lead. All right, I think you have to ask yourself the question, do you want copper or do you want lead? I'm getting a lot of targets, and they're all copper or lead. so far. So doing my part here to clean out the environment again. Got a lot of nice slugs and different pieces of bullets, some copper jackets, and so just a lot of targets. A lot of them are right on the surface down here between these rocks. Of course, I'm looking for a treasure chest. Right? Let's see here. I think I see it. There it is. It's another little piece of copper. All right. I hit a hot spot. Pocket. Just picking them up like that. Yeah, pretty neat quartz outcropping here on the way over. Wow, it's pretty big. White quartz. See it coming up out of the bushes up there? I was backpacking in the Sierra Nevadas one time and I found a quartz outcropping that was nearly clear. It was nearly like glass. And I got a pretty good signal based upon my experience. And my detector goes a little bit haywire like that. It almost, it usually means a coin or a pull tab. The double tone. So let's see. Sounds like it's close to the surface. Sort of lights up the detector. All right, it's out of the hole. Yep. The letter E. Somebody's missing that. All right. Well, there's the there's more in the pill bottle, but that's from earlier in the trip. You can see there's a good selection of ammunition used and and some unused. And that's typical. You know, that's typical. Usually I find a lot of lead, a lot of brass, a lot of scrap, non-ferrous metals, and that's part of detecting. You know, these sound really good. These sound like a ring. These sound like a coin or a ring on my machine. So it's just the way it goes. Get some exercise, get outside, and find a bunch of garbage metal, and then every now and then you find a ring or a piece of jewelry or a neat old coin. So that's all for now. Take care out there.